I'm Caitlin, a sophomore at Virginia Tech majoring in wildlife conservation. Do you ever look at a tree and wonder what kind it is? Well, today I'll be telling you ways to identify them. I learned how to identify trees through a class I'm taking right now called dendrology. It's a requirement for my major and it's a very fun class. So what is dendrology? Dendrology is the study of the characteristics of trees and their taxonomic classifications. In my class, we go over their family, genus, and species. The three things I was taught to identify a tree was by their leaves, their buds, and their bark. So let's get started. First is the tree leaves. They come in many shapes and sizes, but they only go over a few today. When you walk up to a tree, you want to first find the stem and look to see if it's alternate or opposite. In the top image, it shows what that would look like. Trees that will have opposite leaves will be your maples, dogwoods, caprifoliaceae, and horse chestnut, or as we call it, the madcap horse. Everything else will be an alternate for the most part, with a few exceptions here and there. There are trees that will have neither of those. Those will be your pines, your firs, and your spruces, as they don't have leaves but needles. You look at a few different things when identifying a leaf, be it their size, the shape, if the leaf's edge is serrated or not. The three leaves I'll be going over are in image 1, paper birch, image 2, black oak, and image 3, sugar maple. As you can see, they are all different. Let's go over paper birch. The leaf is teardrop shaped with a lot of veins throughout the leaf. It also has a serrated edge, while image 2 doesn't have any serrations, but does have bristle tips on the end of the leaf lobes. Black oak is also a darker and shinier leaf with less veins. It also has deeper sinuses. Those are kind of like the thumbprints. The third image is a sugar maple. That's your average maple leaf. It has no serrations. It's a smooth, simple leaf and has a green stem. But when trying to identify maples or oaks and several other different trees, they have a lot of other trees in their family. So like for example, the black oak, also you have white oaks, and those don't have any tips. I kind of call them finger lobes because it doesn't have any bristle tips. But the sugar maple is closely related to the red maple, and that tree has serrated leaves instead, and its stem is red. Some trees look so similar that you need to count the number of veins in the leaves, like the American and European beech trees. One has 7 to 9 veins on their leaves, and the other has 11 to 14 veins. We can't rely much on trees all year round, though, so with leaves falling off the trees, it's hard to identify. So you look at the buds, which is what's our next slide. There are 3 different buds, 2 of which are shown in the top image. The terminal bud is at the end of the twigs and is the bud to grow new leaves. The lateral buds are nestled in between the leaves and the stems. And last you have the flower buds. Those usually grow either fruit or flowers. Some trees have fruit, some trees have flowers, some have both or neither. I'll be going over the terminal buds mainly. You look at the shape, the size, the color of the buds to identify them. In image 1, we have the paper birch again. It looks like more flower petal shaped. It's small and it has pink and orange coloring. It also is a dull tip compared to some others. In image 2, you have the black oak. It's a cluster of buds at the top of end of the leaf, and they're all more paintbrush-like, and they're small, and their color is like a dusty tan. In image 3, you have the sugar maple. It's a trident shape with a small pattern on the middle, and it's a dark brown and tan color, and it's very sharply pointed. Some buds are like little rose tips as well, and some have really sharp points, so be careful if you grab the end of the tree branch. Next is bark. For the tree bark, I added a few more examples just to get more variety to show you different kinds. The first thing you see when you look at the bark is the outer layer. That usually has the texture or patterns, kind of like how we see in image 2 and 3. It's the one right above my head. Image 2 is the black oak. It has narrow, scaly ridges and are thick as well. Some trees you have to dig into to see their inner color. It's like for black oak in the image, you can see it's like bright orange. Some trees also have like a cinnamon color, a tan color, chocolate color. And then some are like multi-layered, so like there'll be like one color on top of another color on top of another color, and you gotta dig deeper for it. In the image one, that's the paper birch. It's very white and the bark is like peeling paint off a wall. It's a very thin outer layer, and that's why it's called that. In image 4, that's a beech tree. They have very smooth gray bark. There's a lot of these in the slusher quad. They also have little seeds that go with them, but we're not talking about those. Image 3, which is above my head, is a sweet cherry. It has a dark bark with a lot of lenticels. Now lenticels are all those little marked lines you see in the tree. Sweet cherry has big ones that you can fit. You can like fit a whole mechanical pencil in it and still see the lenticel, whereas some have small lenticels where you can't see them at all if you cover it up with a pencil. Some trees also have thorns either on their branches or their trunks of the tree. They can be small, but others can be the length from like your finger to your wrist, kind of like the honey locust. Those ones are kind of scary. That is the end of my presentation. I hope that you've learned something from my slides and try going out and identifying trees using the leaves, the buds, and or the bark that I've talked about today. There are many different trees out there, and I hope that has made you interested in dendrology, at least a little bit. Thank you for watching my video. Bye!